While exploring by boat, we stumbled onto a strange scene that caught us off guard. Two sailboats, one big and one small, tipped on their sides, just sitting on the beach. Were they abandoned? Someone's home? Could they be saved, or were they just left there to rot? After spotting them from Punga, our dinghy, we had to take a closer look, and what we found left us with more questions than answers. Are you ready for another adventure on board Tongaroa? We are in Port Browning, and they have had some massive winter storms here. There was one really big one in October. The wind came right up the bay and actually pushed some boats onto shore. So we're going to go see these boats. Right now there's a little bit of an argument between governments on who's going to be responsible for removing the boats from the beach. The owners, they just don't have the money to do it once the boats get up on shore. And that's a huge political argument that maybe we'll talk about later on in this video, and maybe not. We'll see how it goes. But first, let's go explore some beached sailboats. So imagine this, winter storm, wind is coming, like blowing a hoolie down the bay from the southeast. All these boats, the wind is picking up, they're pitching, they're going up and down, there's lots of waves, and your boat starts to drag. And what happens if you live on board your boat and you're actually not on board when the storm hits? And then this is actually what happens. And it breaks my heart, because you have to remember that these boats are someone's home. They're someone's dream. And look what happens. Oh, and by the way, we're just leaving the pub where we had an absolutely amazing lunch, some blue wings, some beers, and I think Blaine had a pizza. Hey there, we just launched our new crew membership over at onboardtongaroa.com, and honestly, it's something we built just for you. If you've ever wanted early access to our videos, real-time updates, or even to help shape what we film next, this is where all of that lives now. There's also some awesome crew-only Tongaroa gear, depending on your tier, real stuff, not digital badges. It's a way to support the channel directly and feel even more connected to what we're building out here. So head over to onboardtongaroa.com. We would love to have you join our crew. In British Columbia, there's a huge political storm about boats that end up on beaches. Because a lot of the people who live on these boats, they just can't afford to, well, first of all, they're not insured, and then they can't afford to remove the boats once they're beached. And then it's up to the government agencies to try and figure out how these boats are going to get off the beach. The way we look at it, and a lot of people get really mad. The way we look at it is these boats were someone's home, were someone's dream, was someone's vision of a brighter future. Can we say that?
Yeah. Freedom.
Freedom. They wanted to buy the boat, go travel the world. Who knows? But it's their dream, and their dreams end up bashed on shore. So let's go see a couple of these boats that are here in
Port Browning.
Port Browning. And you can just imagine the storm that came in to put these big boats up on the beach. So my understanding, talking with the server at the restaurant here, is this happened in October. Big winter storm came through. The person who lived on board wasn't on board at the time, and then his boat broke loose. It looks like it's a Faro cement boat. What do you think, Blaine?
I was trying to figure that out. I think you might be right.
Looks like a Faro cement boat.
Looks that way.
Looking at how it's made. Yeah, see? But like this is a person's home. It's all chained up, which is good. So no one's going to steal stuff.
Being said, it might actually be a steel hull too. I don't know. Nope, it's Faro cement.
Hmm?
It's Faro. You can see it here. You can see the wires in the cement. Assuming you can see the wire mesh inside. That's how you can tell they're cement boats.
And there's his mooring that broke loose. Okay, it is sad to see such a beautiful boat, or at least a boat with a story on the beach. And then I'm pretty sure that this is the dinghy to that boat, looking at how it's up here. So it's their little inflatable dinghy, because there's a huge line full of water. But look at the mooring line right here. Like that is all the way down. So let's walk the beach and see what else we can find. Like there's a lot of boats along here. Now this one's interesting. Powerboat up here. Pretty sure it dragged or somebody abandoned it. Looking at all the mussels on the bottom. I think it dragged up here and got tossed. But it's just garbage up on one of the most pristine beaches. Now you may look at the registration numbers there and say, hey, we can just go through registration numbers and find who owns it. I'm noticing here in British Columbia, these boats pass hands so many times and they're not registered anymore. So you never know who owns what. And a lot of the people who live in the bays, they're like, here, I have a free boat for you. And they can't say no. So a lot of times they'll take the free boat, they'll raft them up together, and then this happens. You can tell this boat's been in the water a lot. Look at that. And you're wondering why these boats are here or why people live on boats. We have a housing crisis in British Columbia. People just can't afford to live here. But they need someplace cheap to live, and even if they don't have experience, some of them choose to live on the water. So let's go take a look at this other boat down here. Blaine is going to bring Punga around and meet us there. And here's another one that happened in the same storm from what we understand. And again, this is just word of mouth that people have told us this. Muffin spud. Again, someone's dream, someone's home. You can tell it had been in the water a while. What's interesting with this one is usually when the boats end up at the beach, people strip them fast. Like these Lumar winches would be gone, cleats gone. So the fact that no one has stripped this one, which is amazing. Even the life ring's still here. Little barbecue. No one's stripped it yet. And maybe that's because it's on the islands. But it was all locked up. It's just someone broke it open. And there's someone's home in there. Cushions are still there. It's all kind of sad if you ask me. God, even the sails are still on. And they haven't taken those off yet. Interesting. Like even the head sail. Usually all this comes off and everybody will strip it. Heck, I've even seen boats on the beach where people have taken off the pulpit, which is this big stainless steel right here. They rip all that off. But it's still in good shape, which is great because it's still someone's personal property. Like, I don't think it's salvageable. Someone owns this right now. It's just not floating anymore. So. And then as we were checking out these two boats that are on the beach, we saw this one. You guys see an issue with this one? You see the problem? Yeah, you're right. She is sinking in the bow. So obviously there's something blocked up, one of the drainage in the cockpit. No one's checking on her. And she's a little bow heavy right now.
As well, when you see ones like this is obviously not a live-aboard. This is somebody that's got this boat just sitting out here on a mooring, not being used. So that's something people have to keep in mind.
I think this one is actually on the bottom. That's the only thing that's saving it right now. It's so shallow, she's grounded.
Could be. I'd be very concerned having a boat this close to the beach if you had a storm come in.
No, but I think someone did live on board them. And they just weren't home. That's what the server said at the pub.
Yeah. That being said, you got a big storm coming in, and you know there's a big storm coming in, you should be on your boat.
I think that's why it's so important for us that we check our moorings every year at least and change our mooring lines, because that's the only thing that's really holding us when the storms come in.
That is absolutely critical.
And then it becomes the argument between the governments on who's going to be responsible, especially when the owners don't have the cash to remove it themselves or insurance. There's no way this boat had insurance.
I don't imagine it would have been very easy for him to get insurance. I don't imagine too many people are insuring ferro-cement boats anymore.
Nope. Very sad to see boats on shore. It just breaks our heart and really hope that we never get into that situation with the Tongaroa. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe because we got a lot more stories to tell. If you like this video, wait till you see what happened when we took our dinghy across open water and realized maybe it wasn't built for real seas. Watch this one next.